People are creatures of habit. We perform consistent, predictable actions where each day we are on autopilot, and it is our habits that end up deciding the things that we do and the activities that we carry out. We end up doing the same things day in and day out, not paying attention to these potentially bad habits that we have formed. In this video, we are going to discuss the 9 money habits that are keeping you living paycheck to paycheck. You may be asking yourself why creating good money habits is so important. When you have bad money habits, you tend to spend more than you make or simply live paycheck to paycheck. This leads you to a downward spiral of constantly not having enough money, and therefore you can't get ahead in order to start investing for your future. I am going to outline 9 money habits that are keeping you poor, so that you can better identify them early on and stop these bad habits before they become real problems in your life. The first bad habit that is keeping you poor is buying a brand new car. Did you know that the average price for a new car is nearly $40,000? Not only that, but nowadays car loans are being pushed out not just for 5 years like they once were, but for 6, 7, and 8 years. If you were to get a car loan at $40,000 and push it out for the maximum 8-year car loan, you would be paying a whopping $488 a month. That equals out to be a lot of money that you are shelling out over the course of those 8 years, and therefore money that you are not able to invest. It is very difficult to not fall into this trap when your neighbors and your friends are getting a new car, it seems, every 2 years. They are driving nice cars and you are thinking that you should be driving a car like that too, because face it, you deserve it. Another thing to consider is that the average brand new car loses a third of its value as soon as you drive it off of the lot. Just imagine that brand new car that you just bought for $40,000, only being worth $26,400 as soon as you leave the dealership. Don't fall for this trap. Instead, find a nice quality, dependable used car that will last you a long time. The best cars to get are the ones that have just been turned back into the dealership off of their lease and around 3 years old. You may still have to get a small loan on the car, but it will be paid off quickly. And after it is, you will be able to take that extra money that you were spending on a car payment and save it or invest it for your future. The second bad money habit that is keeping you poor is not assigning exactly where your money is going to go. Have you ever looked at your bank account only to find that there is little to no money left in it and wonder where it all went? Various things that you want to spend money on come up and can add up to a whole lot of money. A night out with a friend, a dinner date, or that movie you were dying to go and see adds up to a lot of money quickly, and this is money that is disappearing from your bank account never to be seen again. Instead of not knowing where your money is going, why not assign your money a job up front? That way you know exactly where your money is being allocated to, and it will be working for you in the areas that you have predetermined that you want your money to go. This is done in the form of budgeting. This can be difficult in the beginning as you will have to track your expenses to find out where your money is going. Half the battle of spending your money in better ways is to be aware of the way you are spending your money and to give that money a job up front. That way you are self-aware enough to change bad habits so that they do not continue in the future. The second part of this approach is to make a budget that will work for each area of your life. Having assignments of where you want your money to go and having intentional spending will result in reducing your overall spending and leave a little extra left over for your investing needs each and every month. The third bad money habit that is keeping you poor is eating out too often. In this day and age, we all live very busy lives. Many times we are working long hours and are simply too tired or don't have enough time to prepare a meal for lunch or dinner. In this case, you simply grab something quick as you make your way home. But at what cost? The average American spends $232 a month on food prepared outside of their home. To put it a different way, that is $2,784 a year. These numbers may astonish you, and worse than that, you probably don't even realize that your eating out is adding up to that much money. An alternative to this is to plan your meals and meal prep ahead of time. If you do this on the weekends when you have more free time, you can plan to bring your lunch to work or make crock-pot meals that cook while you are at work. Planning these meals and preparing ahead of time will mean an easier time during the week and more money in your pocket at the end of the month. Your wallet will definitely thank you. The fourth bad money habit that is keeping you poor is spending money on items just because they are on sale. Everyone wants a great deal. Many of us browse around the department store or cruise up and down the aisles in the grocery store looking at all of the items that are on sale. They are all so very enticing. If you are doing this, the store that you are shopping at has already won. By not noticing that you are carrying out this bad money habit, you are sure to buy something that you don't really need or didn't intend to buy when you walked into that store in the first place. Just because an item is on sale from $75 down to $50 does not mean that you should yank it off of the rack and run to the register to buy it. Especially if it is an item that you don't really need or can live without. What you can do instead is to make a list before you walk into any store of exactly what you need or are going into that store for. If you commit to doing this, you are molding your mind to be intentional with your money and only buy those items that you went into that store for. This one behavior change alone could save you a fortune. You could also shop the ads of these store locations before you go into any of them. This way you know exactly which stores have items on sale that you truly need. You will be less enticed to spend your hard-earned money if you are staying out of stores that you really don't need to go into, which will save you money to put towards your investments and your future. The fifth bad money habit that is keeping you poor is that you don't put a value on your money. Many people go out and spend their money on a lot of different things and fail to think about what value and effort went into earning that money in the first place. A great example of this is if you went out and bought a brand new pair of jeans for, let's say, $50. If you make a salary of $15 an hour, then that pair of jeans is really costing you a little over 3 hours of work. Stop and ask yourself before you buy those jeans, is this worth over 3 hours of work? If yes, then absolutely go ahead and buy those jeans. However, if you hesitate in your answer or say no, then you can come to the conclusion that your time is worth more than the 3 hours it took you to earn enough money to buy those jeans. Just think how much unnecessary spending you could eliminate if you were to use this approach on everything that you bought. It would definitely equal more money in your pocket and more money you could put towards your investments. The sixth bad money habit that is keeping you poor is putting off investing until later. This could be perhaps the biggest bad money habit that people have, and the one that could be the most detrimental to their future. To wait until later, or when you have more money in the future, will put you in a bad position as you age and leave you with no option but to continue to work at the age of retirement. It is understandable how this could happen, as when we are younger we don't have much money, are having kids, have racked up a lot of student debt, and countless other financial obligations. Although investing when younger can seem like a daunting task, it is paramount to building your financial future. The median retirement savings in 2019 was $65,000. Try retiring at 65 with that amount of money. I doubt you would get very far. The key is really to start investing as soon as possible. Albert Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. The earlier you start investing your money, the sooner it can start working for you and compound on top of itself. The longer you wait to invest, the harder it will be to reach your investment goals later in life. It will take more money per month to reach the amount of money you would need to retire if you wait to invest versus if you start when you are much younger. This is simply because your money is not getting as much time to compound as it would if you started investing when you were younger. Many employers have a company match for their retirement plans, which could really help boost your investments and leave you in a far better position further down the road. Start investing as early as possible to take full advantage of the benefit that time and compounding can provide you. The seventh bad money habit that is keeping you poor is spending money on drinking and smoking. I know that this particular habit may strike a chord with many of you, but is something that is taking away so much of your income, causing you to be poor, and setting you up to not be in a place where you cannot invest your money for your future. The average person spends about $196 per month on cigarettes. This works out to be more than $2,300 per year, and more than $23,000 over the course of 10 years. The expense of drinking can also add up to a good chunk of money as well. Just think of all the times you go out for a social drink after work on a Friday for happy hour, or meet up with a friend to watch the football game for beers and some wings. These are habits that are extremely difficult to break. If getting together with friends to watch a football game is important, try inviting your friends over to watch it at your house. This would create that same social experience with a lot less of a price tag attached to it. Something also to take into consideration is the effect that these things have on your health. A good practice to help change these behaviors, if this becomes a goal of yours, is to find a strong why behind changing these actions. If you identify a strong enough why, you can manipulate your mind in order to perform alternative habits that are better for your wallet and your health. A why like staying healthy enough to be around to see your grandchildren grow up is a great example of a strong why that could steer you away from these bad habits. The eighth bad money habit that is keeping you poor is your lack of planning. Have you ever went out on a cold day when you forgot a jacket or a sweatshirt only to come back with one? This is something that happens to all of us. We are too busy living in the moment to have the foresight to do a little extra planning and prepare for the future things that we need. This causes us to spend on things that we only really need in the moment, but then we end up accumulating all of these things that we don't need 4 or 5 of. Another example is when we go on vacation. Places give discounts on different events or attractions if you buy your tickets in advance rather than at the gate. However, when you attend these events, you still see a lot of people buying their ticket at the event and paying up to 50% more for their tickets. Instead, set aside some time to plan for those things you may need throughout the day. Set those things by the front door so you don't forget them before you leave the house. Have the foresight to plan out your vacations, including the events that you will be doing. In the end, this will leave you with much more money having planned ahead of time for these things. The ninth and final bad money habit that is keeping you poor is putting every purchase on your credit card because you get cashback rewards or points. You may think that carrying a credit card around to make all of your purchases is a smart idea, and it can be. However, the consumer that can pull this off without spending any extra and unnecessary money has to be highly trained to do so. The average American will spend 83% more when using a credit card versus using cash. Many people use a credit card like it is free money, but it is quite the opposite. It is a tool that, if used the wrong way, can be very detrimental and leave you in a whole heap of debt. The interest rate on a credit card is more than 20% per year, and it is no wonder that the average American has a credit card debt of $6,028. Don't fall victim to using a credit card for the points if you are not highly trained enough to only make purchases that are necessary. It might feel good when you are redeeming your cash back or your points, but you have to recognize what this is costing you. Instead, a good practice could be carrying cash around to make all of your purchases. You will become much more conscious and intentional with your money when using cash to pay for things. It is definitely going to be much more painful for you to see that cash leaving your hand and transferring to someone else versus when you are using a credit card. This will change your psychology of spending money, and you will begin to spend less and less. Now that you are armed with this information, I hope that you can identify bad money habits that you are currently engaging in so that you can begin to change those habits. Changing these habits is not going to be easy, to say the least, but you must remember why you are changing these habits in the first place. You want to stop living paycheck to paycheck and letting money leak out of your life. By changing these habits that are keeping you poor, more money will begin to stay in your wallet, leaving you with more money each and every month. From there, it will be much easier to prioritize investing and your future investing goals. Today is the day to take a little bit of time and think about future you. If you do that and work of these 9 bad money habits, your 60-year-old future self will thank you.